Hi, my name's Dr. Mark Waldron, and I'm the module coordinator for SR147, which is Strength and Conditioning. And I'm going to explain a bit about the module today. So, in order to explain a bit about the module, it's first worth considering what the S&C coach might be required to do. And the S&C coach is often considered to require a number of different applied skills to allow them to work with athletes in the field. So for example, they might need a good understanding of applied physiology, so how the bodies and its various systems work. They might need a good understanding of applied biomechanics, so the amount of forces that the bodies are applied to or how it moves, how fast an athlete might move. They also need some applied practical skills as well, as you can see on the bottom, so some ability to measure and evaluate athletes in a valid and reliable way. Alongside this, they need to know the principles of training in order to help an athlete adapt optimally. So in order to do all these things, they need to take elements of all of their other modules and really combine them into this applied S&C module. So that really gives you a feel for what it might look like. And the types of questions that students or even candidates for students often ask me is, what makes an athlete successful, or how do they prepare for competition? And this isn't a simple question, it takes a lot of learning, and this module is exactly where this starts. So we take different athletes, such as sprinters, for example, team sports players or endurance athletes, and we ask students the question, what is it that sets them apart from others? What makes them elite whilst others can't reach that level? So we think about what characterizes them, and then importantly, we think about what do they have to do on a day-to-day basis to train and adapt to an optimal level. And there's various ways in which that can occur, and various things therefore that we can talk about on the module. So the module itself looks like this. It's 11 weeks long, and for the first week we introduce the module, as you can see here in the middle column, and thereafter we take the students through various aspects of strength and conditioning that are of fundamental importance. So for example, how we warm an athlete up and what the theory is behind that, what type of lab and field-based tests we can conduct. We also think about things like how we periodize training, so how do we plan an athlete's annual training program. And then from week 5 onwards to week 8, we talk about individual athletes and how we test and train them. And this is really where the meat of the module is. After that, from week 9 till week 10, we talk about some principles such as overtraining, so how might we even harm an athlete by training them incorrectly, and then how to optimize certain specialized resistance training programs to optimize strength and muscle growth. You'll notice on the right-hand column, there's a practical element to this module as well. So to support the weekly lectures, we have associated practicals, and these comprise things such as movement screening, tests for strength, tests for speed and agility, tests for aerobic endurance, and a number of other things. So the students really get involved in each of those weekly lectures as well. We always get asked how the module is assessed, and it's assessed in 2 ways. 80% of the module, the most substantive part, is a 2,500 word report, and it's in the form of a needs analysis and field-based test battery for students. So this is the main, where the main marks are won and lost on the module. The group poster is 20%, and that's where 3 or 4 students will get together and present on a chosen topic that year. So it might be how athletes optimally warm up, for example. And we always also get asked about career opportunities. Well, there's a host of different institutions and clubs of the elite type that most of students that take the S&C module will have an opportunity, if they do well, to work with. So obviously there isn't a job for everyone, but there's a lot of really good news stories as well. It's also worth mentioning the skills that are picked up on the module can be applied to lots of different scenarios as well. So lots of students might not go on to working as a strength and conditioning coach, but they could find themselves working in sports science, or maybe even in a clinical employment as well. So that's all I have for the SR147 module.